Hey guys, today I will be talking about some shocking new polls that came out just a couple of days ago that show that Joe Biden is basically surging in many solid Trump states from 2016. These are states that Trump won by 6%, he won by 8%, 9% 4 years ago, that Joe Biden is now leading in. And so I also want to talk about the debate that occurred last night and just my thoughts on it, because I think that honestly the debate last night was a pretty sad and depressing to watch. Just watching both candidates just on the stage just basically arguing the whole time. And the point of a debate is so that both candidates can share their ideas and how they want to improve the country and how they plan on moving forward after this pandemic. But honestly, it just became Joe Biden and Donald Trump just arguing, two old white men on the stage just yelling at each other. And honestly, I do not think that Joe Biden really could have done anything about it. He had a pretty good night last night. By good, I don't mean he did great. I just mean he didn't do horrible. And the expectations for him were not high coming into this debate. The betting odds were that Donald Trump was going to win this debate, but I don't think that really occurred. Of course, I made a poll last night, and basically the average was around 94 to 96% of you guys voted that President Trump lost the debate and Joe Biden won, and only 4 to 6% of you guys voted that Trump actually won the debate. So I think that for President Trump, it was a pretty horrible night. He did need something special, and I think that he did get, many memorable moments tonight, but he's not going to swing any voters in to his side. I think that he did definitely excite his base. He was being very obnoxious, and his base does tend to like that, but he definitely did alienate basically everyone else. I don't think he's going to gain any support from this. He basically just came off as rude and ignorant, to the moderator and to Joe Biden. I think Chris Wallace had a very hard time, and there's really no way to prepare for that, because honestly, all Trump did was interrupt the whole time to rules that he agreed on. And, as you can see at the end, everybody was basically just, sick of him just interrupting all the time. And I think this strategy might have worked for him in 2016 when he was basically just being obnoxious and just getting a lot of attention. But at the time, he was a political outsider. He was seen as someone that was not from Washington, someone that differed from other mainstream politicians, especially Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton was basically, the ultra stereotype of a normal politician from Washington, except that she was a woman. But still, she was a very powerful woman in politics, had been in there for a very long time, and basically said everything that was safe. President Trump, he was much more obnoxious. He said what he thought, and a lot of people did like that. But this time around, he's no longer a political outsider. He is just someone, he is the president. So anything he does is presidential now. He's no longer seen as someone that's like different and someone new to the White House. And so I don't think that this plan of him just being obnoxious and rude to everyone is going to work this time. In 2016, he did lose every single debate and still win the election. But this time, I think the numbers are much better for Joe Biden than they were for Clinton. And I think that if he really wants to win, I think he's going to have to win a debate. Trump's performances did get increasingly better, and as you can see, incumbents do tend to do the worst in the first debate. That's just a historical trend. So we'll see if President Trump can do a little bit better. I think that honestly what he needs to do is he needs to provide more substance. I think he needs to have, just stronger attacks on Joe Biden, because I think that tonight he really didn't try to attack him too much. All he did was insult him and try to get Joe Biden to say something that he would probably regret saying, because instead of attacking him on really too much that he actually did, all he did was personal attacks. I think was a lot of it. And in the first 30 minutes, it seemed to be working all right. Joe Biden did get a little bit flustered in the beginning moments of that debate. However, as time went on, as we saw with the Democratic debates, Joe Biden got better and better, and he was able to really find his groove in the debate. And I think that Trump did lose this debate in general. I think that it was not a good night for the president, and definitely did not create any hype or support around him. It just honestly made him sound ignorant and rude, as I said, just many times. But I think that's honestly all that occurred. There really wasn't any policy discussion, last night. It really was not an informative debate. Honestly, we should have just never even had it, because I don't think anyone's going to gain anything out of this debate. So Joe Biden 232 safe or likely states, Donald Trump 125. So the first state I want to take a look at is the state of Georgia, 16 electoral votes. As you can see here, Trump only leads by 0.2%. But if you really go down here and look, Joe Biden leads by 3% in the civics and new Queen NPapaga University polls among likely voters. So these are the two newest polls. Biden +3, Biden +3. A recent YouGov poll shows Trump +1, and then the Siena College and New York Times Upshot poll, an A+ rated pollster, shows a tie here, and 2 Data for Progress polls shows another dead even tie. So these numbers are very favorable in favor of Joe Biden. If you take a look at these 6 most recent polls, the average is literally Biden plus, it's only just Biden plus, 2 or more. So this is a lean state according to the average of just these polls right now for Joe Biden. And this is honestly just horrible for the president that in the state of Georgia, he's going to lose his lead. I think that, just in a couple of days, 5:30 is going to project that Joe Biden is going to win the state of Georgia, as they do tend to move around the numbers. And then looking at the numbers from 2016, Trump won this state by over 5%. Now he can't even lead in this state. There's literally been he's still leading technically, but he's not going to hold on to that lead much longer at this rate. And I think after the debate, he's definitely going to lose a lot of support. And I think that people are going to be less inclined to vote for him just from his performance last night. So I'm making a little bit bigger here. As you can see the numbers, Trump won by approximately 200 or 300,000 votes in 2016 over Hillary Clinton. And this was an all-right performance. Clinton actually didn't do too bad in this state. This state had not gone to the Democratic Party since 1992 when her husband won the state. So this state is moving to the left demographically. It is moving to the left, similar to Arizona and Texas. This state is going to be becoming more and more Democratic, and I think that 2020 may just be the year that this state actually flips. I think that would be pretty big. And, there's always a surprise in every single election. And if Georgia is the surprise, I think that if Georgia goes to Biden, he's going to lose the election. So Georgia right now, I'm going to put into the tilt Trump column just because I guess, it's still technically in his favor. But I think that in the next couple of days, we will see that Biden is going to start to lead here in the state of Georgia. So this is followed by the state of Ohio. This is even worse for President Trump. This is the state that he won by over 8% 4 years ago. 8%. That is a likely margin. And now it's not even polling in favor of the president. Now, these 3 polls I would just ignore. They're by SurveyMonkey. This is an online pollster, D- rated. This is basically the worst besides F. And I don't think 538 even accepts F-rated polls. So this is basically the worst of the worst that you can get. And this was conducted from September 1st to the 25th, and then these other polls are from July and August. So Trump +2 in this poll conducted basically from September 1st to the 25th, sample size 3,000, SurveyMonkey. Just ignore that, honestly. But these four polls before them, Biden +5, Biden +5 from 2 Fox News polls among likely and registered voters, +5 from Fox News, A- rated pollster. So that's just great news for the Biden campaign. And this is to say that, of course, Barack Obama did win in 2012, but contrast to the state of Georgia, the Rust Belt and especially Ohio is moving more and more to the right, on to Iowa that we're going to talk about in just a couple moments here. And this other poll does show Biden up 1. So Biden has taken the lead in the state of Ohio. Do I think it's going to last? I'm really not sure. I think that he might lead until election night, or he might be leading on election night, but he might still end up losing the state just because, it did go to President Trump by 8% 4 years ago. But definitely a surprise can occur, and we can see, some 2012 numbers for Joe Biden here in the state of Ohio, where he might win this state. As you can see, the state of Ohio currently, or in 2016, Trump won this state by over 8%. He was able to win basically every single county. If you compare this to 2012, this is much worse for the Democratic Party if it's going to load anytime soon. So yeah, he won this state by a couple 100,000 votes, and this was pretty crucial to his victory 4 years ago, and it's the first sign that Trump may actually have this election. He might have actually won on election night. And these are the numbers in 2012. Barack Obama won by around 3%. As you can see, most of these northern counties, Trump was able to flip in 2016. So this is definitely not good for Trump. A state that he won by 8%, he's now losing by 1%. This is a 9% swing from 2016. And you can say that, Trump did swing this state by pretty much the same amount compared to 2012 and Barack Obama, but still, he is losing in many states, and I think that if he's going to lose this state, he's going to lose the election. So Ohio currently is polling in favor of Joe Biden by 1%. That's going to go into the tilt Biden column. I think that this is definitely a very bad sign for the Trump campaign that they're not even leading in a state like Ohio, 18 electoral votes. This is pretty important. This can replace a state like Wisconsin or Pennsylvania and Michigan. So all Biden needs now is Michigan, Wisconsin. He wins the election. So this is just how many different pathways Joe Biden has to winning this election now. Because President Trump, he has no chance in Wisconsin. He has no chance in Michigan. He has no chance in Pennsylvania. He's not going to win these states. So I think that, it's just sad to see this, because without these states, Donald Trump cannot win the election. He has to win all three of them. And at this point, there's absolutely no chance he's going to win these states. And we're actually going to take a look at the numbers in these states right now. State of Pennsylvania, Joe Biden leads by 5.4% on average. If you take a look at the three latest polls, A+ rated pollsters. So ABC, Washington Post among likely and registered voters, Trump plus 10 among registered voters, or not Trump, Biden plus 10, and then Biden plus 9 among likely voters. Plus 9 and plus 10 in a state Trump won in 2016. Siena College and New York Times upshot, Biden plus 9. This is Joe Biden's birth state, and I don't know why he's only up 5.4% here, because the numbers are pretty good for Joe Biden. Like, these are pretty good numbers for the former vice president here in the state of Pennsylvania. But I think that definitely Joe Biden is seeing a little bit of a surge here. He is doing better than he was before. And then if you want to take a look at the state of Michigan, even worse for the president. Biden plus 6.9%. These are 8 points to 9 points into Marist College polls. He's been leading here pretty consistently by around 6 to 8% for months now. So this is even better for Joe Biden instead of Michigan. I think that at this point, Michigan is in the bag for Joe Biden. I don't see President Trump flipping or even holding onto this state in 2020. And then lastly, the state of Wisconsin, the third out of the three blue wall states that Trump flipped. These two polls I would honestly not, take too seriously. They're C-rated pollsters. They're not too good. They're all skewed to the right, especially Trafalgar Group. This is Trump's favorite pollster, so of course it is skewed to the right, or not. I honestly can't talk today. I know I said left a couple moments earlier, but skewed to the right. And then these two Marist College polls, 8+ rated pollsters, show Biden plus 8 and plus 10 just a couple days ago. So Wisconsin is becoming less and less likely for President Trump either. And the reason why I think that Trump has no chance of winning is that unlike 2016, there's been absolutely no change in these numbers. Basically, Biden has been leading by almost the same margin this entire election cycle. Same with Michigan, as you can see, just basically a straight line from May onwards. Pennsylvania, same thing. Did get closer in June, but honestly not too much of a change, and these numbers are pretty flat for a presidential election. And if you take a look at Trump's just numbers in general, they are pretty flat, because there is just that 42% number that supports Trump. There are some voters that are not his most loyal supporters, but will still vote for him over Joe Biden. And so that's why Trump's numbers really aren't as fluid as, presidents we've seen before. His approval rating has never gone over 50% after the month of January. So after the month of January, President Trump's approval rating has never hit 50% again. So one last thing I want to talk about, state of Iowa. Trump is still technically leading here, but Joe Biden leads by 1 point in the only Siena College and New York Times upshot poll among likely voters with a 501 sample size. The state of Iowa currently, according to this poll, Biden plus 3. They're even in another A+ Seltzer and Co. poll. They're even in this A+ rated pollster, but 3 Monmouth University polls do show Trump up 3 and up 6. So I guess this is good for the president. This is a state that, let's take a look at the 2016 results. Trump won this state by almost 10%, by over 9% in 2016. Almost 10%, 150,000 votes. And now he's barely leading in this state. He leads by, on average, 0.7%. This is honestly just very sad for the president. There's no other way to say it. After the debate last night, I think his numbers are going to decrease in all of these states. I think we're going to see a little bit of a shift towards the left. And then I'm sure that Joe Biden and the Democrats have more, leaks coming out following his tax return, which isn't going to help him either. That just came out a couple days ago. So I think the poll within the next couple of days are going to be pretty interesting to take a look at. I do expect that Joe Biden is going to continue to surge. As you can see, we have seen a pretty significant increase in the polling numbers for Joe Biden in these last couple of days. So very good sign for the Democrats. And so yeah, that is basically it. I'm not really going to fill this in. I just want to take a look at the newest polls and how they are doing very well for Donald Trump right now. And so yeah, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like down below, as well as subscribing to my channel with the bell on if you have not. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, as well as video sessions for videos you'd like to see from me in the future. And as always, I will see all of you guys in the next video.